for having gathered us from our various homes together in this platform at this moment. Thank you for the cause we're beginning today. We commit everything that will be learned throughout the duration of this course into your gracious care. And we ask that you be our guide, be our thoughts, lead us on a safe path as we go into this course from tonight. Guide all the participants, particularly the course director, Reverend Dr. Thomas, so that everything we shall do from the beginning, from the inception to the conclusion, will be acceptable before you. Help us to learn all you want us to learn in the course, that we may become very sound professionals in the area of mental health. At the end of the course, we shall have cause to glorify your name and to say of a truth we have been blessed. Make a name for yourself as we study, and bless your children as they learn. To you be all glory and honor. To you be adoration and majesty. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Is
Amen.
Dr. Chinola on the line?
Yes, he's around.
All right. Can she say a few words of greetings? Dr. Chinala was a previous participant of our class for 1 year. And Dr. Ike was also a participant, and their daughter also joined the class for 1 whole year. They were faithful in attendance. And may I request Dr. Chinala to bring a word of greeting, or she like to share 1 or 2 or 3 minutes her experiences, please.
Hello, Dr. Thomas. Good evening, sir.
Yeah, if you want, you can open the camera, please.
Okay.
Okay. Otherwise, it's okay.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
Hello, can you see me?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here this evening. I want to appreciate Dr. Thomas for creating this platform, because it is a very good, educative, and informative platform. Really, before now, I knew little or nothing about mental health. But it was in this platform that I got to have the awareness. I got information about mental health, the need for people or for every individual to be aware about their mental health. And mental health has varieties of its presentations. And it's only when you have the awareness that you know when it's presenting in yourself and the people around you. And it's not something that you have to look down on or be just look at it with a tip of an iceberg. There is need for urgent attention to one's mental health. And so when there is an observation of a need for one to have a counseling or furthermore go to a psychiatrist for deeper attention, it requires urgency, because the more it's allowed to degrade, the more the person's condition depreciates. So mental health, especially because there was a time we created a platform and we also took it down to people in my dialect, the Igbo dialect. And after that fora, people gave a wonderful feedback on how we were able to bring down those psychological terms into the grassroots in the Igbo language. So mental health is something that is very important, because especially now that society, environment, and and the neighborhood and community, many things, economy is becoming so tough. People here and there can no longer cope with the stressors in the environment, from the workplace, from the family. So you see that depression, anxiety, and all that has to do with the mental cognizance is rather tearing apart. So, and there is need for one to differentiate between the spiritual aspect of it and also the scientific aspect of it, which is the reality of mental health. So, when you understand the difference and the gap between this social psychological aspect of living, then the problems are identified and the solutions are very close by. So for the new students, I'll just encourage you to be on this platform. You have come onto a good platform, an informative platform, a platform that will make you to be self-aware about mental health. Also will help you to integrate properly in any environment where there are discussions coming up about mental health. So it's a great platform. I encourage you to be consistent, persistent, learn, research, and be dedicated to it. And I tell you, by the end of the period, you have every reason to say that it is worth giving your time. Thank you. And God bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Chinola, for that good words. Dr. Ike, you want to add something, just 1 or 2 minutes?
Yes,
just 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, I think Chinelo said almost everything, but I just have to say that anybody who is part of this program is actually in the right place, because it will expose you to things you never knew before now, particularly about mental health. So particularly those of us that are joining from Nigeria, it may be a little bit inconveniencing, but I urge you to, brace up with it. Before you know it, the course is over and you'll be better off for it. Dr. Thomas has a magic wand. He is a very experienced senior consultant in that area, and you have everything to gain from him. And so many other persons that are always around. You have a lot to gain and to improve on your knowledge, on your skill, create awareness, and you become an ambassador in this subject matter of mental health. I urge you to continue. You are in the right place. And you people, almost all of them are professionals in their areas. Almost all of them. Look, you see this, my church member, Dr. Lizzie, she has 2 PhDs. She's so experienced, so these are people. My younger sister that joined from Nigeria is a very senior lawyer. My other sister is a very senior school principal. My brother-in-law is a consultant, a surveyor. So they are all professionals in their areas. So we need these kind of persons to be part of the matter of mental health as we continue to spread the awareness across the globe. Thank you, and thank you. Welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Ike. Thank you. Dr. Ike encouraged his church and people, his friends and family in Nigeria, to join because they were benefited by the class. And to continue for 1 year, it's not a joke, but they were very faithful every day. Is Gifty there? Okay, Gifty not there. Deepthi, you want to say a word, or you are not ready? If you are ready, you can just say a word. Okay.
Hi.
Doctor
Hi.
Deepthi, go ahead.
Hi. Yes, I was attending the last session of the classes, and it was really helpful. Um, get to know more about the mental health and how to handle the situations, how to be aware. And I would like to see that more involvement in the churches and community um, with these sessions. I hope we could get some input into our local churches and community. Yes.
Thank you, Deepthi. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I believe Gifty is not there. She may be busy. Dr. Emmanuel, he is a senior priest with the church, Anglican Church, and he is a theologian and a good teacher. I myself attended his classes. He was also one of the very faithful participants last time. Whenever I asked the questions, he was ready to answer in the midst of his busy schedule. He works in a hospital, he works in the church, and teaches, very busy man. Dr. Venerable Emmanuel, could you like to say a few words?
Yes, of course, Dr. Thomas. Good evening. God bless you. My brothers and sisters who are privileged to be joining in this new program. I want to congratulate all of you for this great opportunity to acquire more knowledge in order to serve. The word mental health in some quarters is very stigmatic, and certain people are scared to mention it. But we may grant a concession. Almost everybody who is alive, no matter where, we go through stress, through anxiety, through challenges and struggles, including the rich and the poor, the young and the old. So everybody is struggling with mental health or with anxiety or stress. And so everybody needs help. Everybody needs care, both in the family, in the church, and wherever we find ourselves working. And so Dr. Thomas is so much blessed and experienced in handling professionally this issue of caring people. He calls us people who are interested in offering care. Even if we are not professional counselors, at least we will learn the techniques and the dynamics of how to offer a listening ear to somebody who is in need, and how to also be there to offer support. That is what I think that this program is all about. I joined the program last year when it has already taken off. And I learned a lot, especially because of the method of teaching of Dr. Thomas. Dr. Thomas is a great gift to our generation. And he is so passionate in bringing this knowledge so that everybody will benefit from it. And not only that we will benefit, he wants to multiply himself so that all of us can become like him and look out for people in need, people who desire support. There is a saying that Apostle Paul mentioned in 2 Corinthians. I want to read it out as I conclude. In 2 Corinthians 1:4, he said, "Blessed be God even the Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, the Father of all mercies, the God of all comfort, who comforts us in all our tribulations, so that we may be able to comfort those that are in trouble by the comfort with which we ourselves have been comforted. So God provides opportunity like this to comfort us and encourage us. And the reason is not just to make us comfortable, is to make us comforters. So we are being comforted, not just to be comfortable, but to become comforters. So this will give us an opportunity, this teaching, for 45 weeks. Dr. Thomas was bringing out from his treasury bag various topics of human experience, about anxiety, about family relationship, about stress, and how it affects people and how it could be handled. And can I tell you, this created a hunger in me to learn more. I'm already in the field, but my interest was also further heightened. And recently, I got a scholarship from the state of New York to study more on drug addiction counseling for addicts in drug and alcohol. That will last for 1 year. And because of that scholarship, valued at about $7,000, that's what they are charging for this 1 year. So what Dr. Thomas is giving us free of charge for 1 year, other people are charging $7,000, $10,000 to offer. And the quality of what Dr. Thomas is giving is even far more. So I want to tell all of us who have this privilege, it is a thing offered to us on a platter of gold. We should be grateful and appreciate it, and we should make the best use of it to receive this knowledge and information, to help ourselves to deal with our troubles and anxiety, our families and our work, and above all, to lend a helping hand to others who are in need. With that, I say congratulations and welcome to this program. And I want to thank Dr. Thomas for his sacrificial and passionate impartation on us and on all who are willing to accept that. May God bless you, and may God continue to use you. Thank you so much, and I am done.
Dr. Emmanuel, Venerable Emmanuel, thank you very much for that encouraging words, and we really appreciate. Join us when you can, and God bless you.
Thank you.
I think we will go straight into the class. The reason today we may not be teaching much because of the time. We are already what do you call half an hour, almost 20 minutes past. And I will definitely close by within 1 hour. And I also request everyone to stay once I stop the recording, so that announcements and other things can be made. Because we will be putting this recording into our YouTube channel, which I have sent you through my 3 emails. This class is open to everyone, irrespective of the caste, creed, national origin, denomination, religion. Everybody can join it. Since many of the participants are from church-based counseling programs, we offer a prayer, and also we use some Bible verses to teach everybody, which can be helpful to all the people. So this class is open to everyone. And I'm sure you will learn from it. One of the questions, as I go along in the future, I will give you more example. One of the questions people ask me, why, Dr. Thomas, you are so passionate in spreading the importance of mental health and related subjects. I'll be telling you about a book which I have written maybe 1 or 2 weeks later that will give you a glimpse why I started this work. There are so many things happening in the society. For example, we have so many people broken in their lives, broken hearts, shattered marriages. You can see all this in my website. Tobacco addiction, alcohol addiction, drug addiction, rebellious family member, alcoholism, shattered dreams, broken lives, unfaithfulness, broken promises, fragile faith, wounded families, fractured people, fractured feelings, mental illness, broken hopes, cheatings, lyings, money problems, various types of sicknesses, joblessness, unfulfilled expectation. This is just a few examples. We are living to some extent in a hopeless world. I have handled so many very, very difficult situations. I worked with some of the sickest in the city. I got injured because a patient tried to attack me and I almost got killed. By God's grace, I am alive to talk to you. Otherwise, I would have been dead 30 years back. It was a fraction of a second. I was able to save myself with the help of other people. One mentally ill person attacked me. 2 years back, there is a story came, and I wrote many posters in my website. You can see it. No, in my Facebook. I send you all the details. There was a man, educated. He locked himself in the room for a long time. The parents were medical doctors, well accomplished teachers of the medicine. Sister was a medical graduate. Auntie, an elderly lady. One day, he killed all of them. And still people said he was a very nice boy. Yes, he was. But today he is being treated for mental illness. The mistake which the family did was, when he was isolating himself in the room and made a lot of stories, the family did not pay much attention. They should have sought the help of professionals. They should have sought the help of the government. And today, 4 of them are dead. He is in a mental hospital. Could that have been avoided? Maybe yes, maybe no. So there are so many cases happening in our society. Recently, just 2 weeks back, one mother and daughter committed suicide. Well-to-do family, educated family. The lady holds a master's degree. Her husband, a PhD student. 6 years of marriage, they lived together only 56 days. The husband visited the family only once. She wanted him to love her, care for her. But he don't want. She was a beautiful lady. I saw the picture. Why? He had no interest in her because he had interest in other things. She should have recognized. She should have understood. But the stigma, cultural problems made her to keep quiet. And today, she and her mother is dead. They could have sought help from professionals, from people. That man is behind the bars. I can tell you hundreds and hundreds of stories where the children problems are ignored by parents. Before I go into my main subject, recently I was interested in studying 2-3 subjects. I am still a student. I always like to read and study and research. One story, we all see it. You ask the young people, who is your president? They don't know. Who is your prime minister? They don't know. But they have studied few classes. They have no idea what is happening in the world. They are in a different world altogether. That's where the importance of parenting comes. Parenting. And I'll be touching on that subject later on. The reason why I made this course into 2, if some people don't want to study for 1 year, they can get a certificate after 23 weeks if they meet all the criteria. Attendance is a must. Unless you are seriously sick, you cannot attend. You have to let me know. So 20 out of 23 classes is compulsory. Answering questions which I sent each week, please reply. I don't care whether it is a 2-line answer, 2-page answer. Make some effort to answer. You can keep all that papers together. I'll help you. I will guide you to make a final paper. I'll give you the instructions later on. Some of the past students, participants, they wrote some of the beautiful papers. Very good papers they wrote. That means they learned. And I expect a paper in the end together with your answers. I'm very lenient, but I like to get that before you get the certificate. And after getting the certificate, if you like to go for the diploma course, another 22 classes, please attend. And some additional subjects, some extra studies from the subject which you study, because you know in 23 classes, it is extremely difficult to handle all the subjects. So I'll be rushing, and please understand because of the limitations of the time. And one more thing I like to say, one of my study interest was the psychology of compulsive ultra wealth accumulation. Have you seen some people accumulating wealth and craving for power? There are so many people who become rich, who become well-known due to hard work, opportunity, skill, systemic advantage, healthy ambition. All these things are very good. If they accumulate wealth, that's fine. If they accumulate position, that's fine. But there are other types of people who underwent a lot of trauma in their life. Childhood trauma, poverty, humiliation. They crave for wealth. That's a different one. There is no end for their craving. And that's a problem. And they can create a problem for other people also. And I know a few people like that. And another one, interesting study, which you all should do is, you may have seen so many antisocial personality people. In short form, we call it ASPD. How do they develop that personality? Do they come with that personality, or they develop it after born? The children, when they show some symptoms, some difficult situations, the parents usually ignore it. And I plead with the parents, don't do that. Long time ago, in 85, 86, or around that time, I have written a book on parenting. I gave it to so many people. Very small book. It is out of print now. So when the children are showing some criminal tendencies, hatred, anger, and everything, the parents have to pay attention to it. Don't hide it. Please don't hide it. They need help. If you cannot handle it, take them to a professional. Is there a connection between antisocial personality disorder and psychopath? Is there any connection with the gene? Yes, there is. Because one of the usual things we say is, just love them and they will be okay. Yes, we have to love them. If we truly love the children, then we have to properly take care of them also. That is what the love is. Not buying the iPhone and giving them all the facilities. So these are some of the issues which made me to go for this teaching. Now, I'm going to share a few slides and I will explain it As I told you today, we won't be able to cover much all right. I did a lot of study for my doctorate in this field. What are some of the basic needs and why problems arise? That is the foundation of our study. If we know the foundation of our study, it is easy to understand the ongoing subjects and lessons. So if we understand our human needs, then everything will become more easy. Sickness is associated with three things: body, soul, and spirit. I will be touching on these different areas of our life. Later on, today is only the introduction. Why we become sick? Is it only bodily sickness? Or is there some other things? The basis, the foundation of my teaching is we need to realize the fact that when the needs are not met, problems arise. When the needs are not met adequately and fully, there could be a gap between the real need and availability. For example, the food. The first and one of the important need we all have is the physical need. Let me ask you this question. If anybody want to answer, please speak out. You can unmute your phone. Just speak out. How many needs are there? I already shown you one need. How many needs are there? Can anybody answer?
Water.
Yes, how many? How many needs are there?
8.
Okay, can you say that needs, ma'am?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
Number air. Fresh air.
Oh,
You know?
okay. You are talking from here.
Yes.
Okay, I'm asking how many basic needs are there?
3 basic needs:
What are the basic needs? Tell me.
food, cloth, and shelter.
Very good, very good. I heard this answer for last 30, 40 years, which is true. Let me ask you this question. Food is for what?
Physical health.
Correct. You are right, 100%. In Hindi, they call it roti kapda makan in the Indian language. That is the basic knowledge of everybody. I ask this question in colleges, universities, teachers, students. Everybody gave the same answer, roti, kapda, makan. That means roti is for body. And cloth is for what? Cloth is for body, right? Anybody can answer. Cloth is for body. Shelter is for what? It's for body. So here is the problem. If we go by this philosophy or teaching, everything is related to body. That's where the trouble starts. Once upon a time, this was a prevalent theory. I have written about 8 needs: fresh air free of excessive pollution, water, sunshine, exercise, rest, shelter, healing, and finances. You don't have time to go into details, all these things. Let me ask you, out of these 8 needs, which one is on the top?
Air.
All right. I am going to keep you in a room, give you very good oxygen. How long you can stay there?
Maybe a couple of days.
So that is not enough, right?
Yes.
Correct. Correct. So I think you all got the answer. All the 8 needs are important. All right. Mental needs: knowledge, understanding, communication, and beauty. We come to this class to gain knowledge. We need to gain knowledge with understanding. There's a common saying that person has knowledge but no understanding. We need understanding. And communication, that's why communicate between the husband and wife, parents, children, church members, temple members, mosque members. Everybody need to communicate with each other. Communicate one with another in the community among friends. That's also our need because we are social beings. Beauty, advocate exposure to beauty and the ability to appreciate. That's why when we see a beautiful man or a woman, we say he is handsome, she is beautiful. When we see the flowers, we say it's beautiful. Is any of these things more important than the other one? The answer is really no. Emotional needs: companionship, advocate male and female companionship, we all need it. Affection, especially children and the parents, husband and wife. Many of the ladies who come to me for counseling told me their husband don't have any affection towards her. If I talk to the husband, they will say they don't have any affection between each other. Then there comes a marital problem. Receiving affection expressed through word and touch. That is why the shake hand and kissing and we pat on the back, showing affection. Recreation, self-esteem, self-fulfillment, security. I sit in my first floor room and there is a floor underneath. I am guaranteed, I believe my floor is able to hold me. Otherwise, I won't be able to sit here. In the family life, we need security. We need to have self-fulfillment. We achieved something in our life. If we have only 10th class pass, unable to study further, be happy with it. If we can study further, study. Self-esteem, the feeling that one's life is important and righteous. If we want to be happy, we must have some self-esteem in us. Then receiving love from God and man. So this is another area we need. Then spiritual need, to help others who need it. Experience of love, the attitude of genuine care for others that motivates one to seek to meet their needs, even though it requires self-sacrifice. Because many of us are not willing to sacrifice ourselves to show that love. That is where genuine care comes. Many of you are familiar with the story of Good Samaritan. That is an experience of love in action. Here is a man wounded, lying on the roadside. Two people came. Because of their religious hang-ups, they don't want to help this man. But there comes a third man who wanted to help, and he was given help which he required. Faith, we can call it belief also. It all comes under it. The attitude of surrender to God's will and trust in for strength to fulfill his will. Communion, receiving God's revelation of his will and communicating to him one's faith response. That's where the prayer comes. Now let me ask you, because I have to rush, as I told you, I'll be going in 100-mile speed unless we spend 3-4 hours studying this thing. So let me ask you this question. Out of all these things, which one comes more important than the other one? Whatever your answer, you can share it.
Equally important.
Okay. Anybody else?
Dr. Thomas,
Yes.
I feel that all of them are of great importance for one to be healthy. When you talk about mental health, when you come to mental health, everything is each of them is all of them is very important. Everything is very important. For one, it has to be holistic.
All right. Anybody else? There is no right and wrong answer. You can say whatever you want.
Yeah, I really,
Me?
I think it's interdependent on each other. You can't
Correct.
take one away from the other. So all of them are equally important.
Correct. Anybody else? One more person.
Yeah,
Needs to simplify.
Go ahead, Ringo.
Needs to
yeah. So I think like physical needs are important and emotional needs are also important. And the mental needs and they are important, but then if you're asking like very important, like, I'm thinking like maybe it can come second, like, but physical needs and emotional needs are like really important to move forward in life, you know. I mean,
Very good. That answer, I like your answer. Yes. For it all depends. The only problem is we should not lower the one and give a top important and ignore the other one. Even if you give importance to one aspect of life, that's okay. Somebody else was saying, I think when Ringo was saying, somebody else was saying something. Please say.
needs to satisfy one's personal needs.
Correct. Correct. What you told is correct. So, all the needs are equally important. Of course, each individual may give more importance to another. Like, for example, I am retired. I try to balance my life. I do a lot of gardening. I exercise. I do research and studies, read books. I teach. It gives me satisfaction. So the first point I want to stress in this class, which will help you in the future classes, why we see a lot of problems in the world, why there is a lot of conflict in the families, why there are so many children in trouble, why jails, prisons are filled with the criminals. There is something is missing somewhere. And in the following classes, we may be able to address some of that issues. Just we got only another 7 minutes. I will start with the counseling and then we will continue next week. Let me ask you this question. What is your understanding of counseling? My teaching is interaction. I like it. You know, I teach a lot of students, teachers, colleges, universities in my life, or professionals, big companies. I like to ask questions. So what is your understanding of word counseling? You all are going to get a certificate in counseling.
To hear the other person and to react towards what he needs from us.
Okay. Anybody else? One more person can answer. One more. Go ahead, Ringo.
Yeah, counseling is like someone who will like listen to the person, like who is talking to them and understand, not like giving instructions like do this or you're not doing this right, or not giving like such answers, but then like stay with him, walk beside him, like guide him, listen to him, and then give some hints, but they're not like totally like holding his hand and walking him through like to they're not like that, but then their presence is there, so the person knows that there's someone who is there, if something happens I can go to him and talk to him, or that way, like they are with them, but not like too much, but then just a help, like if something happens to me, there is someone who I can talk to, or that kind of help, like
Well,
in our life.
that's a good answer. All right. Since most of you are new to this subject, let me say for another few more minutes. Counseling has a lot of meanings and a lot of misinterpretations and misinformations. And I hope and pray that this today and possibly by next week, you will have some understanding. Giving advice to someone, do this or that, and that is also called counseling. Giving personal help and advice to someone to resolve personal or psychological problems. Psychological problem must be handled by a professional. Recommend a course of action. For example, an athletic coach. Tell the athlete whom he is training or she is training, be careful. Don't jump like that. That's also a counseling. What course to take That's also a counseling. So the word counseling is totally misunderstood and misinterpreted, and it has got a lot of confusion in our mind. I like to go back to the second point I said. Mental health counseling required professionals. In most countries, especially European countries, in America, even to use the word counselor, you need to be certified. And I will be explaining that next week. Everybody cannot. Maybe one licensed psychologist cannot practice in another state. They may have mutual agreement sometimes. And I'll be dealing with that next week. Basic counseling, it refers to the fundamental principles and skills used in a therapeutic relationship, primarily focusing on active listening, empathy, open-ended questions, and creating a safe space for the person to discuss with us openly. They must feel comfortable to discuss their concerns, challenges, without necessarily delving into complex therapeutic interventions or specialized technique. I will simplify and say it. The counselor should be able to open the door for the person to open their life. That's a simple way of explaining what counseling process is. It requires active listening. We have one subject called the importance of listening by maybe one of the classes. We need a lot of empathy. And I hope all of you have the empathy and the active listening ability and open-ended questions. Don't put them into a corner so that they won't answer. And they also need to feel safe. And I will be explaining this more next week. Before closing, I will just say these things, maybe another 1 or 2 minutes. Counseling is a form of therapy, or we call it talk therapy. It is a process where an individual, couple, or family meets with a trained professional counselor to talk about issues and problems that they are facing in their lives. Before I close, let me summarize. I wish I can go for another 1 hour. I know I promised 1 hour, I'll close it. Active listening and responsiveness. When they tell us something, the way you respond is very important. Because many of us just dismiss what other people tell us. Don't do that. Even in your family, when the children talk, listen, respond. As a counselor, it is vital part of your job is to help people feel heard respected, and validated. Three things. They should feel heard, respected, and validated. If somebody says something, I'm in a heartbreaking situation, don't dismiss it. Listen. It is true with your husband and wife relationship. If the wife tells you something, husband should listen. If the parents tell something, children should listen. Children should, parents should listen. Then, lastly, questioning ability. Counselors should be skilled in asking questions as they are listening. Then they should have the ability to interpret what we hear. Oh, that person told me, let me see what I can interpret from it. Then trustworthiness is very important. I'll be touching on confidentiality later on. Can we trust the counselor? Trustworthiness. And lastly, and the most important thing is, we must have the empathy which we need. Without empathy, I can tell you, we cannot do any counseling. I always tell, I told this 1,000 times, my phone is open 24 hours, 7 days a week for so many years. If the importance are not there, if there is anything I can talk, what you call morning, I will tell them I'll call you tomorrow morning. Why? I empathize with the suffering of the people. So this is my hope. By the end of this course, you all will develop basic qualities. I am not expecting you to be mental health professionals, but at least having some basic skills to understand the problem, at least then refer them to a professional. Thank you very much. Thank you for joining. Please look for the emails by Friday, Saturday. Open the email, answer the question. I am going to stop the recording now, and then please stay in the class so that I can give you some announcement and get to know you better. So please stay for another 5 minutes. I'm going to close the recording now.